Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Kesavam Badarayanam सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ऋकारस्वन्धकारो वैरुकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः तुष्टुवागुंस्तनूभिः विषेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कृत्भ्यः। ओम प्रज्ञानां सुप्रतानीः स्थिरचरनिकरव्यापिर्व्याप्य लोकान् मुक्त्वा भोगान् स्तविष्टान् पुनरपि दिषणोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नः माया संख्यातुरीयं परम् अमृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि। ततो हि मायया जन्म युज्यते न तु तत्त्वतः तत्त्वतो जायते यस्य जातं तस्य हि जायते। What is this creation? What is born? Is there really a creation? It's an important question. Because if there is creation, then the duality is real. Even it is modified. It's a modification of something, like a clay has modified itself to a pot, for example. A lump of clay has modified itself into the shape of pot. Still there is some creation. Milk has become curd. There is a creation. So even that kind of a creation implies there is certain duality in it. Now, if that is a fact, that there is a created world, even if it came from the same source, even then, at this time, there is a world. Hence, there is Sukha, Dukkha, Jivatvam. All these are at least temporarily real. So, I am indeed in struggle. I am, even if you say it is temporary, Pralaya may happen when we all go back to Bhagavan, is how you say. Suppose you say that, then only during Pralaya maybe we will be free of sorrow. But today, there is sorrow which is a reality. Therefore, if the Srishti has to be accepted in any form, there is no moksha possible. Nitya moksha is not possible. It is only a time-bound moksha. Shastra says you are totally free. Hence, we have to understand that there is no tatparya in the Srishti. If there is no Srishti, then what happened to the reality which is the Satvastu? That Sadvastu Mayaya eva jataha. It is born only in an as though context. Sataha janma mayaya eva yujyate. Natu tattvataha. There is no real Srishti. Tattvataha jayate yasya jatam tasya hi jayate. The one that is born, that which is unborn cannot be born, from which it can't be having a birth. From Aja. If Brahma is Ajam Brahma, we also say Sajam Brahma. If it is Ajam Brahma, from Ajam Brahma, you can't have birth. Then the alternate option is there is a Jatam Brahma, the born Brahman, from which the world is born. Now, if that world, Brahman itself is born, it is born out of what? Will be the question. Okay. That was what was being discussed by Bhashyakara. Okay. Vidyamanat karanat maya nirmisasya hastyadi karyasya jivat jagat janma yutyate na asataha karanat. Now he discusses a very interesting thing. Shrutivakya sataihi sabakhyabhyantaram ajam atmatattvam advayam na tataha anyadasti iti nishchitametat. Shruti is very clearly establishing that there is only Advayam Brahma, there is nothing else. Sabhakyabhyantaram ajam atmadattvam advayam. That alone is there, there is nothing else. Iti nishchitam. Now, yuktya cha aduna etadeva punaha nirdharyate by reasoning. What is the reasoning? तत्र एतत् स्यात् सदा अग्राह्यमेव चेत् असत् एव आत्मतत्त्वम्. He raises a very pertinent question because the previous verse spoke about neti neti. So there is no deterministic way to just say this is what is Brahma. All you say is it none of the thing that you know and which has its attributes that you are perceiving, it is Brahman. It is not this, it is not this, it is not this. So it is negating. If the negating is what is being done, then there is no Sat also you are showing. So maybe there is no Sat. For that only Bhashyakara replied, Karya Grahana. Na. You can't say that, sir, because the effect is perceived. There is something you are tangibly perceiving. So you can't say it is Asat. Because if there is Asat, where is the possibility of a tangible experience? This is where a lot of people have a problem. They call us as Mayavadi because they have the same question. If there is a tangible perceived world, when there is a tangible perceived world, how can you say everything is illusion is their question. In fact, Shankaracharya also is using the same aspect here, saying Karya Grahana, the created, a manifested world is there in front of you. Okay, there are objects, there is sun, there is moon, there is time, there are planets, there are emotions, there are energies, there are principles, there are factors, there are so many things here. There is order, there is, unimaginable set of things. There is creation which is full of these enigmatic aspects in it. So where is the question of saying nothing exists? So Karya is you perceived. It is available to you to objectify. There is something here, you can't say there is total void. So You have to either say the Karya Jagat itself is true as it appears to you, which is what is our common parlance experience, or Shruti says it is a dependent reality, it is not actually real. But you can't say there is void, nothingness. Therefore, Karya Grahana is a very important hetu to say that the Vainashika, like the Bauddhas and all, are not in the right track because the Karya is available for cognition. So, yatha sataha mayavinaha mayaya janma karyam evam jagataha janma karyam grihyamaanam mayavinam iva paramartha santam atmanam jagat janma maya aspadameva gamayati. Then how does this creation happen? Okay, as per you, based on what Shruti says. So, Siddhanta Paksha Acharya brings out here, yata sataha mayavinaha mayaya janma karyam, as though there is a world which is spun by the magician. The truth is what? You can't say there is nothing, out of nothing Mayavi is showing a thing. Okay? When the rabbit comes out of a hat, when he initially showed you the hat, it was empty. Now he takes a rabbit out of the hat. So was there no rabbit at all? Did he create rabbit out of nothing? No, it's only a sleight of hand. There was an empty hat, which was a fact. There is a rabbit, it's a fact. There was that rabbit even when you didn't see it, that is also a fact. He just made it appear in front of you. Either it was under the table on which he kept the hat. He shows you the hat. Then there is a table with the covering, cloth covering on it. Okay. And then he will put the hat on the table. And then he'll put his hand inside. And then a rabbit will come out. So it's so obvious, right? The cloth on the table has a hole. Table also has a hole. There is somebody sitting underneath the table and giving him the rabbit. So the rabbit is brought out. So the Mayavi is not creating things out of nothing, but he is making you see that from nothing came this rabbit. But actually there was something which is becoming evident to you. Similarly, the whole Jagat Mayavinam iva karyam paramartha santam atmanam jagat janma maya aspadameva gamayati. There is underneath that, underneath the Jagat is the Sadvastu, which is okay, Sataha hi Vidyamanat Karanat Maya Nirmitasya Hastyadi Karyasya iva Jagat Janma Yujyatena Asatah Karanat. Non existent cause cannot create an existent thing. There has to be a Vidyamana Karana. So there are 2 points you have to very clearly understand. There is a Karyam. You call it a Karyam because you assume there is a cause. Shastra says the world is a product, karyam, effect. When you say there is an effect, there is a cause implied in it. And that cause, whether it is known to you or not, you can infer its existence because the effect cannot be there without a cause being there. So asat karana is not possible. At the same time, the karya by itself, when you analyze, it gives away its existence as you see it. When I say this is a cloth, what is a cloth? It is just the spun yarn. It's a collection. Now there is nothing called cloth. All that is there is only yarn. Now you look at the yarn, all that is there, only tissues. cotton. Look at the cotton, analyze it. Is there something called cotton? No, there is only atom and molecule. Now you further look at it, it becomes only energy particle in a state of motion. Everything reduces to something else, and eventually all that exists is just the existence. Therefore, when you analyze the world as it stands, it gives away its reality. It drops its reality, but then you can't say there is non-existence which became this. So the easiness doesn't go away. The easiness either gets stuck with the cloth. After analysis, it gets stuck with the yarn. After that, it gets stuck with the fiber, fabric, thread, tissues, whatever. It just goes and stick to something because Vijñātuhu Viparilopaha na vidyate. The experiencer's Swarupa is never absent. That alone is Tattvataha. There cannot be a birth because Tattvataha nothing is born. In fact, every birth is just a modification. Even a human birth, you think it is a new birth, but then it is a food modified. What is born is always just a modification of something that already exists. A plant is born from where? Another seed, and the food it assimilates from things around it, including the sunlight and the water, things like that. It assimilates, and then the body is formed. Everything is just a modification. Whole thing remains a constant. There is nothing called new birth. It's all parinama. Whereas in the case of Brahman, there's not even a parinama because the Brahman is that which witnesses the parinama. The Swarupa of it is Nityashuddham. न तु तत्त्वतः एव आत्मनः जन्म युज्यते अथवा सतः विद्यमानस्य वस्तुनः रज्ज्वादेः सर्पादिवत् मायया जन्म युज्यते न तु तत्त्वतः यथा तथा अग्राह्यस्यापि सतः एव आत्मनः रज्जुसर्पवत् जगद्रूपेण मायया जन्म युज्यते. Just like the snake is seen without any alteration to the rope, they exist in rope only. You are seeing the existence of snake is lent by this rope. If there was no existence which is available in the form of this rope, you wouldn't have seen a snake. The existence part of it is true. Very much there something exists there. Not that nothing exists. There is an existence. And that existence is stuck to the snake. But actually, it was to be sticking to the rope. So the existence fact is true. But this ropeness, snakeness is where there is a problem. Therefore, the Sat also similarly, even though it is not available for you to objectify, it is agrahyam, it is not available for you to get hold of. You can't hold Sadvastu in your hand, in your mind, in your sight. Because it is not available for objectification. It has no attributes. It is not in time. It is not inside space. All exists because of it, but then it is not one of those that exist. It is the existence itself. It is not one of the. It's not like there is a cow, there is a rat, there is a rabbit, there is a horse, there is a man, there are trees, then there is one Brahman. No. It's not one of the objects which are available for you to objectify. In fact, anything that you objectify is not Brahman, but everything that you objectify or Brahman in the sense because of Brahman is what the objectification itself is. Therefore, agrahyasyapi sataha eva atmanaha rajju sarpavati. Jagat Rupena Mayaya Janma Yujyate, the Janma can be said because it's an existence. The existence is seen in the form of a created Jagat because easiness can lend itself to a Jagat. And ease rope can lend itself to a stick or a strip of water or anything that you want because the existence is a reality. Whether you see a snake or not, whether you see a stick or not, whether you see a rope or not, it doesn't matter. The easiness is there. Similarly, in the case of Sat also, it is there only because of which a Jagat can be seen. Otherwise, Jagat cannot be seen. Natu tattvataha eva ajasya atmanaha janma. But then it can't be born. Born means what? Is it a new thing that is born? The world? No. Is it a modification? Modification means what? I had a certain attribute, Brahman had certain attributes before, and then there are new attributes which are born in the Jagat. But where are the attributes? When Nirgunam is what is Brahma, how can it lend itself to change? What do you mean by change for Nirgunam? Niravayam. It is inconceivable that a Niravayam Nirgunam can lend itself to any kind of change because change implies a certain quality which is known before the point in time and a different set of qualities after a point in time when you don't have anything before a point in time. In fact, the point in time itself doesn't exist apart from it being as an object of consciousness. Where is the question of the Brahman changing? The change is not possible. A new thing cannot be born. Therefore, where is the question of birth? But then the question is, then why are you saying that Jagat is born out of Brahma? Because in the Karya Jagat, Brahman is there available in every cognition, Pratibodha Viditam Matam, every cognition, every experience, everything, the point in time, the perception of time, the perception of space, perception of object, the perception of nothing in the absence, everything, the easiness is there. So the easiness is Brahman. In the Karyam, the Brahman is seen. So you have to say it is born of Brahman. But then there is no birth. That is how it has to be understood. So is there any moksha possible? No. Why? Because you are Nityamuktaha. The Brahman hasn't given up its Mukta Surupa ever. So you don't need to have a moksha. Moksha is needed only if you are Baddha. You only see a non-existent you as you. Whereas the existent you, which is Sadvastu Brahma, which is what actually you are seeing as the non-existent, that Rupa is not being recognized because you don't have the Vichara being done. The Shastra is showing you just look at the world. What are you seeing? Every perception is nothing but a modification of the consciousness, awareness, nothing more than that. There is nothing other than that. Apart from consciousness, there is no object because every object cognition is nothing but consciousness only. In every bit of your cognition, there is only consciousness and nothing else. You think there is another thing, but then when you look at that thing, there also consciousness alone is there. No, sir, I have this cloth, I have this wall. The wall is not consciousness. How do you say that? The wall is nothing but an object of perception. The wallness is perceived. The dimension of the wall is perceived. The color of the wall is perceived. The shape of wall is perceived. The thickness of wall is perceived. The distance between you and the wall is perceived. The taste of the wall is perceived. The notion of wall is perceived. All the perception are in awareness, awareness, awareness. So, what else is there outside of awareness? In everything, there is awareness only. So, that is what is there, nothing else. Natu tattvataha eva ajayam ajasya atmanaha janma. There is no real birth. Yasya punaha paramatma sat अजम आत्मतत्त्वं जगद्रूपेण जायते वादिनः नहि तस्य अजम जायते इति शक्यं वक्तुं विरोधात्. The Jagat is born out of the Ajam Brahma because Shruti says Brahma is Ajam. If people say that, then how? The question is, how can an unbornable and that which cannot be born, birthless, Ajam Brahma, Jayate iti katham vaktum shakyam. How is it possible to even make a statement like that? Because the word Ajam itself means it is birthless. So you can't say it is born. Then what? Tataha tasya artha jatam jayataha jayataha jatam jayate. Tataha tasya arthate jatam jayate iti आपन्नम जातम जायते. Then that which is born, Ajam is not born, but that which is born is born. There is a continuous change because there was something there, then that is there, then this is there. So which means a changing thing is changing. Initially it is it's a Jatam, a born Brahma, and from this Jagat is formed. Then he says, Tatascha Anavastha Vatati Jayamanatvam Na Anavastha. When if you say a born thing is born from that which is born, then that born from which this is born has to be born from where? Another born. That has to be born from another born. So it will go to infinite regress. That means your initial presumption that a born thing is born out of a born itself is wrong. Tasmate ajam ekameva atma tattvam iti siddha. So there is only Ajam Brahma. There is no other birth. Now the question is Asadvada. What is Asadvada? Maybe there is no Jagat. Yeah, existing Jagat, you are saying, cannot be born from a non-existence. There has to be a Sat from which the Jagat has to be born. Okay, I accept. But what if I say Jagat itself is not there, so it doesn't need the Karyam itself is Asat. So Karanam is not needed. Yeah. Okay. The Karyam is Sat, the sense you can say there is an isness that I am seeing, it has to be born from somewhere. Okay, fine. But here, why do we have to say that? So there is a verse. Asato mayaya janma tattvato naiva yujyate. Vandya putro na tattvena mayaya vapi jayate. Asataha mayaya janma tattvatah naiva yujyate. Asataha janma mayaya na yujyate. Tattvatah va mayaya va janma na yujyate asataha. A non-existence need not be born, cannot be born either as a illusion or as a real. So a non-existence, where are you talking about? Whether it was really born or it is only as though born. Hey, you are saying it is asat non-existence. This they talk about this abhava, pradvamsa abhava, praga bhava, anyonya bhava, all this atyanta bhava. The perennial non-existence, that is atyanta bhava. Then you have pragabhava, prior non-existence. Then you have pradvamsa bhava, post non-existence. Then you have anyonya bhava. The anyonya bhava is non-existence of something on each other. Okay. So what is the difference between a pragabhava and a pradvamsa bhava, anyonya bhava and atyanta bhava? What is the difference? There cannot be any difference because they are non-existence. Non-existence can't be qualified. Similarly, a non-existence, you can't ask a question whether it is born from existent really or it is non-existence is born from another non-existence in a Maya form or it's a real birth. It is a meaningless discussion. So he says, Asato Mayaya Janma Tattvato Naiva Yudyate. Tattvataha va Mayaya va Asataha Janma Naiva Yudyate. It is not possible for the Asat to be born truly or as an illusory birth. And then he gives the example, Vandya Putro na Tatvena Mayaya vapi Jayate. A son born to a mother who has not given any birth. Okay. The son, he is the son of a mother who hasn't given any birth. Means what? He is a non-existent son. Okay. Non-existent son means there is nothing. See, only your notional thing. Right? There is no non-existent son. Oh, non-existent son can be born. How is born? So the non-existent son means it's just a usage set of words which actually don't have any existential meaning. Okay, it just means that okay, there is a mother. You know the word called mother, and then the mother who has not given birth. You understand. Son is a word you understand. So this son is son of this mother, but then this mother has not given birth to anybody. Means what? There's no meaning to this. Okay, actually together they don't make any sense. So that kind of a son, na tatvena mayaya vapi jayate. So was that son really born or was it only a superficial creation? You can't talk like that because it's non-existence. It doesn't lend itself to any such usage. Subhashikara, Asadvadinam Asataha Bhavasya Mayaya. So why this the whole thing is about the Buddhist? The Buddhists say Shanika Vijnanam, the world doesn't exist, and the non-existent world is born out of non-existent thing. That means Shunya. From Shunya, this non-existent world is born, is what they say. Vainashikaha. And then they say whether it is Shunya or it is, Kshanika Vijnanam, whatever, they have different ways of expressing the non-existence of the Jagat as it is, whether it is Shunya or Kshanika Vijnanam, and then they say you can attain that Nirvana. Okay, Bodhisattva attained it, so you can also attain it. But then nobody attained it after Buddha. That is what is said. Okay. Because for you to even say that you are Shunya, you have to exist. Then where is the question of Shunya? It is impossible knowledge. Because that knowledge is not possible. Any knowledge is possible only in an existence. Simple. Non-existence as a knowledge means what? Even a child will not understand. We'll make joke of this. Okay. Therefore, this is a Vainashika's contention is being dismissed here. Asadvadinam Asataha Bhavasya Mayaya Tattvato va na Katanchana Janma Yujyate. Asadvadis, okay, the people who say the whole world is non-existent, for them, Asataha Bhavasya, that Asadbhava, Mayaya Tattvato va na Katanchana Janma Yujyate, Adrishtatvat. You can't see this kind of a thing. Okay. So, he says, Nahi Vandya Putro Mayaya Tattvato va Jayate Tasmat अत्र असद्वादः दूरतः एव अनुपपन्नः इत्यर्थः. So it is, it has to be, it is unacceptable even in a very remote sense. It doesn't have a contention at all. Some people think that Advaita is close to Buddhism. Okay, because these people propagate that Shankara was a Mayavadi, all that. But we don't accept that. In fact, the closest one which is accepted to be the closest through Prathamamalla Nyaya is only Sankhya. The Sankhya came very close. So Sankhya is because for us everything is Ishvara. And this Guna and all these things, in Prakriti, we kind of accept Prakriti, right? And we accept Purusha also. Only difference is there are many Purushas as per Sankhya, and the Moksha also is slightly different. Otherwise, if it is one Purusha, one Prakriti, and Prakriti is not independent of Purusha, then it becomes Advaita. That is what we accept. So this Mayavada and all, these people don't understand. So they are saying, we have already discussed it so many times. But I'm talking about it again because there is this context. Tasmat atra asadvadaha durataha eva anupapannaha, untenable even in a remote sense, which means it is not even in contention. We don't need to discuss and dismiss it. So we take only Sankhya, Vaiseshika, Naiyayika, okay, Mimamsaka, all these people seriously. Vainashikas are not taken seriously, even though they have become very famous, even in today's contemporary world, because of all this Buddhist Tantra meditation and also the West's fascination for something that the Tibetan Buddhism and all that, they claim they appear to be very close because they also dress in saffron. They say, Maya and all that. They also talk about cycle of birth and death. And then they talk about ahimsa. So Sangha, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami, and all that. So Dhamma and all that. So they talk about Dharma. All these things, it appears as though it is very close, but then it is very far because the fundamental aspect of Ishvara, we say everything is Ishvara. The Sadvastu is what is there. We are Astikas. The Siddhanta here is Astika Siddhanta. We are not like Maya and all these are like Buddhists are saying. So that is totally, they are Nasti. They have Nastika. Buddhists don't accept Shastra. They don't accept Ishvara. They don't accept so many things. Veda itself is not accepted. So where is the question of we even looking at them in any favorable light? Yeah. So, and fundamentally they are also illogical. There is no way to gain that kind of a knowledge that they are talking about. Nobody has gained also. Okay. There is a claim that Buddha gained it. Non-verifiable because nobody else has gained it after him. Yata swapne dvayabhasam spandate mayaya manaha. Tata jagrat dvayabhasam spandate mayaya manaha. Okay, this is a very interesting verse. Dvayabhasam swapne yatha spandate manaha spandate mayaya. So this is again taken from, I think, the Shruti Vakyas and in some earlier, the first two prakaranas also, in some form it was discussed. Swapnavati Jagratapi is what is the thing. In Swapnam, the Dvayabhasam manaha mayaya spandate, the Dvaita Bhava is being spun. We will see the detail in the Bhashya. Mayaya spandate manaha. It creates, all that is there is Prajnana Ghanam. We say, right? Prajnana, Aprajnam, Na Prajnana Ghanam, all those things we were discussing. The Prajnana Ghana is your deep sleep. And that Prajna, which is Antah Prajnam, Na Bahish Prajnam, Na Antah Prajnam, Na Prajnana Ganam, Na Prajnam, Na Aprajnam, Ekatma Pratyasaram, all that we saw earlier. Now, this Antah Prajna, which is mind, is nothing but just Prajna only. Now, that Prajna is the one which is creating a Dvayabhasam. The as though Dvayabhasam, the duality is seen, even though all that is there is only Prajna. In Swapna, there is no difference between that and the Vekan, is what he says. Tata Jagrat Bhasam Spandate Mayaya Manaha. Can they both be same? All these we already discussed. In fact, Shankaracharya clearly said, what is the difference between a dream and Vekan? There is a continuation. There are things which happen in the Vekan, whereas in dream, yesterday's dream and today's dream are totally different. Whereas there is a certain difference between Vekan and dream. Otherwise, both are dream only, right? There is a difference. But then despite the difference, in both, the all-pervading thing is only Prajna. Just like in the dream, it is evidently known when you wake up that all that happened was within Prajna only. There was nothing outside of Prajna. Okay? Whereas in Vekan, you are still not waken up to the Jnanam. Therefore, you think there are objects. But if you analyze, if you look at it through the Shruti Drishti, even here, the objects are far away from the prajna. Therefore, it is Bahish Prajnam. Therefore, the Jagrat Dvayabhasam Spandate Manaha Mayaya eva. Look at the Bhashya. Katam Punaha Sataha Mayaya Eva Janma Iti Uchyate. The context is giving connecting to Maya Eva Janma. Where is the Maya? Okay, so this question of Maya is very interesting. Though we use this word Maya, but we are not Mayavadi. Okay, so there is a subtle difference here. Because Maya is a word used by Bhashyakara at many places. Maya is used by Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. In fact, Mayam tu Prakritim Vidyat, Mayinam tu Maheshwaram, Shruti itself uses in Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Therefore, Maya is a word used. It's not like only Advaita is used Maya. Okay? Same Bhagavad Gita, which is being used by Vishtadvaiti, Dvaiti, all these, every Astika people also uses the word Maya. It's not that we introduced the word. Okay, the same Maya is there in Shruti also. So it is very unacceptable to just say that only Advaitis use word Maya. Okay, now having said that, but how is this word Maya used? Okay, that is why in this context the Maya is kind of introduced. Okay, Maya ya janma yujyate, janma iti uchyate. The birth of the Jagat Srishti is through Maya. Okay, how is it that usage Maya means what? Maya means what? Why are you saying it is Maya? Okay, through Maya or in the form of Maya, either Itambute or even like, Karana, the third case. Okay. So, how is that Maya? Is a question. So, Yatha Rajvam Vikalpitaha Sarpaha Sadguru what is it? Rajurupena. Okay. Rajurupena Avekshyamanah Sanne एवं मनः परमात्म विज्ञप्ति आत्म रूपेण अवेक्ष्यमाणं सत् ग्राह्य ग्राहक रूपेण द्वयाभासं स्पन्दते स्वप्ने मायया रज्ज्वामिव सर्पः तथा तद्वदेव जाग्रत् जागरिते स्पन्दते मायया मनः स्पन्दते इव इत्यर्थः स्पन्दतः इव ओके यथा रज्ज्वाम् सर्पः विकल्पितः Rajju avakshyamanah san. In the rope, yatha, just like in the rope, there is a modification of rope as a snake. Vikalpitaha. Vikalpitaha means what? Rope hasn't modified itself as snake. Your cognition, there is an alternate cognition of sarpa in Rajju. However, it is actually what is being perceived is only Rajju only. Rajju Rupena Avekshyamanah. Even when you are seeing the Rajju, in fact, you are seeing the shape of the Rajju, you are seeing the texture of the Rajju, you are seeing the size of the Rajju, you are seeing the curve of the Rajju, how it is curved. You are seeing everything actually only Rajju. While Rajju is being seen all along, you see a snake. In every part of your cognition of snake, there is rope. In fact, the color of the snake is color of the rope. The shape of the snake is shape of the rope. The length of the snake is length of the rope. The tail of the snake is tail of the rope. So everything that you see there is of the rope. So Rajjurupena Avekshyamanah san Sarpaha Vikalpitaha yatha. There is a snake formed. Okay, because of your own notion. It's an Hind, but whereas in the case of Brahman and Jagat, it's not your own notion. But the fact is that all that is you are seeing in and through You are seeing a rope here, similarly there you are all the time seeing Brahmavastu only. Evam manaha paramatma vignapti atma rupena avekshamanam. So the vignapti, which is paramatma, vignapti means the pure consciousness alone, which is not vrityatmaka consciousness, which is not the mind. Whereas the mind is paramatma vignapti atma rupena avekshamanam. The one that is actually being seen is all the time only vignapti. Just like all the time you are seeing only rope there. But you are as though you are thinking you are seeing the mind. But it's only vignapti. And that mind is where the grahya grahaka rupena dvayabhasam spandate. There is a grahya grahakam. The grahya grahaka is the clincher here. The whole world experience is nothing but grahya grahaka. Okay, subject object. That is grahya grahaka. Grahyam is object, grahakaha is subject. Subject object duality is grahya grahaka tadrupena. In the form of the subject object duality, dvayabhasam spandate swapne. The subject object duality is actually not there, because in and in you are only seeing the paramatma vignapti. Even though vignapti is what you are actually seeing, but then you are seeing a grahya grahaka in your dream. Then how is it seen? How can it be seen? Mayaya. Because it's a fact. What is a fact? That in and in all that is there is only prajnapti is a fact, because it is non-dismissible fact. You can't dismiss it. If you can show anything where there is no prajnapti, then you can dismiss it. But nothing can be shown that, oh, here there is no prajnapti. How will you show? Because prajnapti is the shower, and prajnapti is the receiver. Therefore, in and in all the time, in every perception, every cognition, all that is seen is only prajnapti. Then still you are seeing grahya grahaka rupa. Therefore, it can be only mayaya. There is no other way, because if there was a true real grahya grahaka, there can be a real creation reason. Whereas here, there is no actual grahya grahaka. In the dream, let's first take the dream. Forget the waken. Okay, in the dream, you are seeing grahya grahaka. You are seeing an elephant in the dream. You are also there. Elephant is also there. But is it really there? There is no elephant there. In and in, what are you seeing? Only your own mind, the content of your mind, which is only prayer, prajnapti only. That prajnapti is what is seen in your mind as elephant, lion, neighbor, mother-in-law, everything. Okay, everything is seen, but in and in what are you seeing? The content which is only prajnapti. There is nothing else in the dream. Is there anything else? No. Only prajnapti is there. Therefore, how is it seen? What is how is it? The mind is changing itself into an elephant? No, there is no elephant at all. So Maya only. So you understood that part. Okay, in the case of dream. Then we come to the Dashtantika, Tata Tadvadeva Jagrate Jagarite Spandate Mayaya Manaha. This is Shruti Pramana. Again, you can understand here also, just like in the case of dream, every object also is never away from the Prajnapti Paramatma Vignapti Atma Rupena. Vignapti. Prajnapti is what is used in Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Here he uses Vignapti. Both are same. Vijnanam, the awareness, the consciousness, the essence of the mind is what is actually there. Even in Vekan, there is no difference. Jagrate, Dvayabhasam spandate mayaya. Jagarite spandate mayaya eva. Here also mayaya eva spandate. There is no difference between the dream and the Vekan in what is seen. Advayam chadvayabhasam manaswapnena samshayah. Advayam chadvayabhasam tata jagrana samshayah. Dvayabhasam advayam manaha swapne. Even though there is a dvayabhasam, the dual subject-object is experience. It is not paramartika. Bhashyakara says, Rajjurupena sarpaha iva paramartataha Atmarupena advayam sate dvayabhasam manaha swapne. Advayam eva. When in Karika uses the word advayam, it means Satsurupa. That's what Bhashyakara says. Advayam sat. He qualifies Advayam saying Advayam means Satsurupa. The Sat Brahma. Rajjurupena sarpaha paramartataha. The Rajju Paramartata, the Sarpa is Paramartataha Rajjurupena eva. Ultimately, when you look at Sarpa, the Sarpa is only Rajju. Simple. Everything we just saw of Sarpa is only Rajju. In fact, there is no Sarpa, there is only Rajju because it was all along Rajju that you have been seeing. So, Sarpaha iva Paramartataha Sarpaha Rajjurupena iva. Yata Tata Atmarupena Advayam Sat Dvayabhasam Manaha. So this Dvayabhasam Manaha Swapne, what is Dvayabhasam? Grahya Bhava, which is there in Swapna, is actually in reality as a content is only Advayam Sat Brahma. There is no doubt in it. Everybody can understand because in your mind alone is there. Nothing else is there. Similarly, na is Swapne Hastyadi Grahyam Tad Grahakam Va Chakshuhadi. He says in the dream, neither are the elephants which are perceived there, nor the eyes which you have to see that elephant in the dream. Even that, they both don't exist. Dvayam Vijnana Vyatirekana Nasti. Other than the Vijnana, that is Vijnapti. Other than the awareness which is there, there is nothing else. They are both sides. The knower, which is in the form of the eyes, the known, which is in the form of elephant. So Grahya Grahaka, both are not there. Jagratapi Tata eva. So there is no difference in Vekan also. It's just that dream, because you have woken up from dream, now you are able to say, hey, it was just only my mind. Whereas now, since you don't have that jnanam, you have not yet seen through the vision of Vedanta. So you are able to not see it. But once this jnanam takes place, you can clearly see that here also Prajnapti alone is actually there. Therefore, Paramartha Sadvijnana Matra Avisheshat. So the Paramartha Sat, Vijnapti Rupa, that is Avishesha. There is no difference. Here also the entire Vekan experience, without leaving out anything, is completely dependent on Paramartha Sat, the Vijnanam. Without Vijnapti, no experience is there. In and in every experience, Vijnapti pervades. Okay, nothing is away from Vijnapti, just like in the case of dream. Only thing is there, the reason for the dream you can say is your own experiences and all that. Whereas in this case, it's not your own experience, it is Ishvara Srishti. There is a difference. Here it is Ishvara Srishti, there it is your own mind Spandikam. But the content of both dream as well as Vekan is in and in only Vijnanam, Vijnapti, Prajnapti. Mano Drishyamidam Dvaitam Yatkinchit Sacharacharam Manaso Hiyam Amani Bhave Dvaitam Naivopalabhyate. This Amani Bhava is spoken about here. The absence of mind. Mano Nasha is there, we hear people talk about, right? So the Amani Bhava is slightly different. Okay, it is also in a sense Mano Nasha only, but in the context of Satsvarupa Anusandhanam, when you are completely in a what do you say, Jivan Mukti state, where your mind is fully absorbed in the Nishtha of Brahman. Where is mind? The mind is there only when there is subject object. When somebody is fully there in Nishtha, there is no mind. And that kind of a state is there even right now when you are in deep sleep. So the Amani Bhava is spoken of by Bhashikara says, Viveka Darshanabhyam, Viveka Darshana Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Rajvamiva Sarpe Layam Gate. When the Sarpa has attained Laya in the Rajju, there is no Sarpa. Similarly, through Viveka, when your mind has attained Laya in the Prajnapti, there is no Manaha. Similarly, he says, Va Sushupte. Even in deep sleep, it is almost the same. In deep sleep, there is no mind. That is also Amani Bhava only. Dvaitam Naivopalabhyate. There is no Dvaitam. Even in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, there is no Dvaitam. And even somebody has gone to coma also, there is no Dvaitam. Iti Abhavat Siddham Dvaitasya Sattvam. So the Amani Bhava means in absence of mind is an experience. So in the absence of mind, there is no world experienced. Therefore, the reality of the world is linked to the reality of the mind is what is the contention here. Manodrishyam idam dvaitam yatkinchit sacharacharam. This dvaitam is dependent on mind. It is not, when mind is not there, dvaitam is not there. But existence is there. So dvaitam is dependent on manas. Advaitam is there when manas is there as well as manas is not there. In Amani Bhava also, Advaita Vastu is there. Manaso hi Amani Bhave Dvaitam Naiva Upalabhyate. Nayeva Upalabhyate. Amani Bhave, when the mind is in Amani Bhava, mind is when the mind is non-mind, then there is no Dvaitam. Rajju Sarpavati Vikalpana Rupam Dvaita Rupena Manaha Eva Iti Uktam. Okay, Dvaitam, we'll see in the next class. We are already a little late, but we started a little late. Rajju Sarpavati Vikalpana Rupam Dvaita Rupena Manaha Eva. Rajju Sarpavati. So, like the Sarpa seen on the snake, this Dvaita also is seen on the Parabrahma. That is Vikalpana only. Tatra Kim Pramanamiti. What is the, what other than Shruti Pramana, what other proof you have is the question. Then he says, Anvaya Vitireka Lakshanam Anumanam Aha. That is Anvaya Lakshana. Invariable concomitance. Okay. Anvaya Vitireka. Whenever there is mind, there is Jagat. Whenever there is no mind, there is no Dvaita. Therefore, it is only mana which is the reason for the world. That is the point. Okay. Katam tenahi manasa vikalpyamanena drishyam manodrishyamitam dvaitam sarvam mana iti pratigna tadbhave bhavat tadabhave cha bhavat. When mind is not there, there is no jagat. When mind is there, there is jagat. So hi amani bhave viruddhe viveka दर्शन अभ्यास वैराग्याभ्याम रज्ज्वामिव सर्पे लयं गते वा सुषुप्ते द्वैतं नैवोपलभ्यते इति अभावात् सिद्धं द्वैतस्य असत्वं. Therefore, here we are not talking about mano nasha. We are just showing just the invariable concomitance of mind and the dvaitam. For dvaitam to exist, mind has to be there. Whereas for your surupa to exist, you don't need mind. Therefore, it is only manodrishyam. Is that is so now there are people who talk about this Mandukya Karika. He is actually a Buddhist. Okay, and then they talks about Manonasha, their Kshanika Vijnana, especially the next chapter talks about Alata Shanti and all that spinning fireball. Okay, creates lot of shape. He says a spinning fireball creates lot of shape. But as such, all that exists is only the fireball. There are no shapes. Which is because what we are showing is Prajnapti only is there. Okay, but then they equate it to the Kshanika Vijnana, Buddhism and all that. Okay, but that is not, we have to look at it in the total context, what the Karikakara is saying, and this is a work on Upanishad. Therefore, the Mula also has to be kept in purview. Here it's clearly saying the mind is what is always there when Dvaitam is there. Okay, without mind there is no Dvaitam. Whereas absence of mind, there is no Dvaitam. But you exist. Therefore, Dvaitam is only temporary. If it is permanent, it has to be always there. So Maya only. That is the whole thing. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.